Hi guys, and welcome back to the SN studio. Today we're going to talk orcs, and more orcs.
Yeah.
This is why Ghaz is in the studio, because he's the best player from the SN team. He's a veteran in orcs. You've been playing for
like 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years.
I wouldn't say I'm the best player in the team by a long way.
Well, you're the only player that plays orcs, so we can say you're the best, right? Because you're the only.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Okay.
Don't spoil it.
I'll
take it. So we're here today to discuss the new orc release. Models, Codex, and as well...
And we just got a new FAQ.
We can also talk about the FAQ, which is really...
it's very small.
Very small, but we can talk about it anyway. And I'm basically going to talk mostly about what we're experiencing at the moment on the battlefield.
Yes.
We've played them quite a lot, actually, in SN, in both SN Plus, and you also played them at an event as well, which is good. And we're also going to compare them to the meta at the moment, and obviously what orcs were before. So with that said, we're going to quickly go and talk firstly about your experience up to now. Now, I am going to say something, Jamie. The Codex has just come out.
It has.
Because
the proper
Codex has just come out.
This one is actually the proper
Codex. So this is something I want to briefly mention. We haven't seen a lot of orcs, and I was like, it's weird that we're not seeing a lot of orcs. We are experiencing it, and I think we can both justify that we don't think it's a top tier Codex.
No, I think it's a strong Codex.
It's a strong Codex, but it's not top tier. We're talking Drakari, Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't think it's up there with them. But at the same time, it's just come out to worldwide for people to grab it. So we might see them slowly creeping up
for sure.
the table and seeing.
Sure. And I think a clever player can really make the Codex work.
Yes, and we are seeing them a specific list, which we'll go later on into. We are seeing a specific list doing really well in events. But now, back to the experience. Jamie, you've been playing for many years, like you've said. Talk about what you've actually thought about it up to now in the last couple of weeks.
About the new Codex.
About the new Codex,
Okay, well, the biggest change for me has been from 8th to 9th, or rather, we're in the same in 9th, but the previous Codex to this one has been boyz.
Boyz, It's a big change.
They've changed completely. The way I play them, I used to always run squads of 30 pretty much. But that's completely changed. Although what I have seen come back that I used to run a lot in 5th edition were truck boys.
Yes.
I mean, they're different now. I take fewer of them, but that's been a very welcome addition to the new Codex.
And they are quite good.
And they're very good.
I don't think they're still as competitive as some other lists that we're seeing at the moment, but it is. We have used them in a couple of reports, and they do hit really hard. It's a really good alpha strike to them. So do you want to quickly explain what that does?
Because orcs are so different, boyz are so different now. I think it's worth going through the boyz a little bit, because I know so many of you are going to have so many boyz from your
and the worst thing is that you just spend so much time painting them as well.
And there's just, you feel like, oh, what can I do with them? What can I do with 120 orc boyz?
Yeah, or what? Well, no, was that the max? 120?
No, you could take up to like 180 or something.
Okay, so well, that was the main...
Most orc players at least have 90.
Yes.
For sure.
3 squads of 30.
3 squads of 30, so I want to talk very briefly about it. There's four seasons of orc boyz.
Okay.
4 different ways that I think you can run them, and they're still pretty effective.
Yeah, so let's step back just a second. Yeah. So what you used to see before, because maybe there's a lot of people that have just started orcs at the moment, what you used to see orc players do is they basically hoarded the table with orcs. So all you would see massive units of orcs, all with a feel no pain or invulnerable save, more or less, with bubbles from some characters, and they would just walk up the field, grabbing objectives, and there was just so many bodies to kill that if you didn't kill them, and then if they got into your lines, there were so many attacks on top of that they just won games because of bodies on the table.
I mean, boyz are only 1 more point than they used to be. They've gone from 8 to 9, so you can still play that.
Yes.
But I think there are more effective ways you can play them than like that. Another thing we used to always see was one of those squads would jump, and one of the squads would come back to life with the.
So why is it that we're hearing and seeing orcs not as good now? Because when we used to see when we saw the previews and Games Workshop said you're going to get back to toughness 5, which is amazing. I know. You're going to get a -1 in your chopper. It was looking really good, and suddenly it's like So I don't understand. Like, I'm not an experienced orc player, but what is the difference? Is it basically the leadership? Do you think it's the leadership?
The leadership has hurt us a lot.
Yeah, because the leadership bubble before was basically how many other orcs you had around, and now you don't have
your
that,
leadership
right?
was the side of the squad, and you could share it with the squad.
Yes,
next
exactly.
Now it's changed. Now it's more normal.
Yes.
But I still think you can play big orc lists like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the other ways you can play them. You can play them faster, make them hit harder, and it's just much more effective. So that old Horde of Orcs, Green Tide kind of list.
Yeah.
It's gone
which was cool, but a bit boring, right?
It was, yeah.
When I didn't play them, but when I used to play against them, it was a bit boring because there was only Orcs on the table. There was a couple of smasher guns in the back.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was basically
exactly,
it. Yeah.
But look, you can still play that, and I think the best clan to choose to play the big Horde is Snakebites.
Okay.
Hands down, for sure.
Yeah.
Because of your clan traits, you're basically getting transhuman on everything with strength 7 or lower.
Or lower.
Or rather less than strength
anything
7.
that's more than that, you're basically not supposed to be shooting at all.
At all, exactly. So they're wounding you on 4s. So and your toughness 5 already. So a strength 6 and 7 weapon is also wounding you on 4s.
Okay.
So that makes you really effective. Then you put a custom force field in with them for a 6+ feel no pain, 6+ invulnerable save.
Yeah.
A pain boy in for a 6+ feel no pain.
Okay.
And on that pain boy you can increase the aura if you want to 6 because it's only 3 inch aura. And once you've got 90 boys all with toughness 5, transhuman on 7
invulnerable
or less,
save,
invulnerable save, and feel no pain. I mean,
the tough to
you can sit squads of 30 on objectives and you're not moving.
Yeah.
I mean that is one way you could. I mean, it's a boring way to play.
Okay. But for those people who don't have a lot of
Orcs
and don't have a lot of that,
use them as Snakebites and just camp them on objectives.
Okay. Fair enough. I think you used them as Snakebites the first
ever game we did.
Yeah, the first time.
I always used to run
you can go and head over to the video battle reports, and that's the first one with the new Codex.
For sure.
And check it out. Who did you play against? Talos, didn't you?
It was Talos Drukhari.
Yes. Yeah, it was a good game with a nice, really cool bridge in the middle as well.
It was excellent. Cool. Okay, but then I quickly moved from that style to Goffs.
Okay.
And I made my lists much faster with smaller squads of boys. So for Goffs, you want to try and take maybe squads of 12, squads of 10. I've been running squads of 10 because the nature of fighting now at night, you can't get so many bodies, and I think that's another reason why
that's true.
They've changed. And also, it used to be if you took a squad above 20, you get an extra attack.
Which
that's no longer the case.
Yeah. Can you go over 20 still?
Yeah, you go squads of 30. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you take boys in squads of 10, remember when you're charging with the Goths, you're strength 5.
Okay.
You're getting the AP -1 because of your chopper anyway. You put Ghazghkull in there, you're getting rerolls with them. The Waaagh banner, it gives you +1 to hits. You get a weird boy and give them an extra attack with Warpath. Waaagh for an extra attack. And if you put Unbridled Carnage, instead of generating extra attacks on 6, it generates it on 5s.
Okay.
So you could have 10 boys with 5 attacks each. Strength 5, wounded on 2s, rerolling, exploding 5s.
On 5s and 6s.
It's
you
really,
don't need
really
more
strong.
than that.
You don't need more than 10.
Yeah, and like you said, a good thing that you mentioned is that now when there's more than one row attacking, it's within half an inch of half an inch.
Exactly, yeah.
So the 3rd and 4th isn't getting in there anymore, and especially with the bigger bases now.
And there's no point in taking that.
Because this is the official base size, right?
This is the official base, it's 32.
So because before you did have the smaller ones, which looked really ugly.
Yes, I know. I have to rebase so many boys. But anyway, Goff boys can be hugely strong. You've got to put some characters next to them to buff them.
Okay.
But I mean, if they hit you with strength 5 in the charge, generating those extra hits.
Yeah, perfect.
It can be devastating. And you can reroll. You're rerolling with Ghazghkull everything. So you'll want to reroll not just the ones that miss. And reroll everything that's not a 5.
Yeah, true.
And you're going to get so many extra attacks.
Yeah. And
when you use that strategy.
And still talking about boys and like the amount of models we have in units, are we talking still grots are available? Because obviously everybody knows that's playing 9th edition. Objectives is so important.
Yeah.
Board control is important. Do you really want to have Orks in the backfield?
The thing is, grots are awful.
Yes.
They're 5 points, the same as a guardsman, the same as a poxwalker, but they're awful.
Yes.
There's been they've got worse, I'd say. I mean, we've got the extra toughness.
Yeah.
But
so they're toughness 4 now.
They're toughness 3.
Toughness. Okay. They were toughness 2.
No.
Okay.
But they're really bad. They can't do anything. Okay. A squad of grots. You can take the new characters Zogwart, Wart, Snagga.
Yeah.
Buff them a little bit.
But you're being taxed because you're having to spend points on him.
But they're 50 points for 10. If you're going to just want to throw 50 points away and set an objective, take grots.
Okay.
But apart from that, I can't see any other effective battlefield role. I used to take a lot of grots. There used to be grot mobs, specialist mobs in the last Codex, and I used to take, remember? With the killer cans and the grot tanks, but now you can't do that anymore. So there isn't even that fluffy element of taking flavor of taking grots as your principal.
Yeah, it's good to take grots in other things like killer khans where you're hitting on the better ballistic skill.
Grot units, but not Gretchin.
No grots, but I still think they're viable for objectives in the back.
Yeah, they're the cheapest unit.
So, and that's what you want, right? Yeah. And they're small, so they're easy to hide as well.
Yeah.
So I think they still have the thing. So back to boys. Conclusion, right?
Okay. There's two ways you can take boys. Okay. The next one is if you want to take shooting boys, I think bad moons.
Okay.
You can take shooter boys with bad moons to increase the range for your Dakka, give you AP -1 and rolls of 6s.
Okay.
And or if you're showing off for 1 CP. You basically get the older Dakka rules, so 6 extra hits.
Okay, so which let's go straight into that as well. Really briefly.
Yeah, we can go to
Dakka's changed, hasn't it? How do you feel about that?
I don't know. It speeds up the game.
Speeds up the game, which is a big point in the game because you don't really want to do that.
You feel like you lose a little bit of the old.
Yeah, I liked it, but we have noticed that it speeds up the game quite a lot.
Yeah, and there are ways you can really take advantage of Dakka and get
a lot of shots. And the Dakka rule is still giving you a lot of shots. Like when we're talking about the bikes, the bikes have Dakka 6-12.
They have 5-3.
5-3.
But they have 2 each. Yeah. So they're 10-6, but when you use Speed Waaagh, it goes up to 12-8.
8. So many shots.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, Bad Moon boys, take them in trucks, run them around the board, or to jump them and shoot. Yeah. They can still do damage, shooter boys.
And
but apart
truck
from that,
boys, did you mention what it did?
Now I think truck boys are my new favorite way to run boys.
Okay.
So obviously you lose your clan traits when you take a truck.
Which the FAQ has confirmed.
Yeah, FAQ has confirmed. You can't go in a truck now.
You can. Before you couldn't really.
But we were playing it right all along. But anyway, you take truck boys.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't really matter what clan you play them because you lose them. But if you play Evil Sons, your trucks will move an extra inch. So that helps.
Always good.
But anyway, you move the truck 12 or 13 if you're Evil Sons, or if you get them squig, hides tires an extra inch to 14.
Yeah.
You then disembark 3, move your 5. If you call the Waaagh, which I'd recommend to do if you're playing a lot of truck boys, you then advance and charge with an extra attack because of the Waaagh.
Okay.
Just always, if you do that, you'll guarantee a turn 1 charge. You take 3 trucks with 3 squads of 10 boys inside and a truck war boss if you want.
Yeah, which is what you've been doing.
I've been taking truck war bosses and war boss with the Killer Claw and brutal but clanning.
Yeah.
Giving the boys +1 to hit the truck boys, and also the boss himself.
Yeah, and getting turn 1 charges with all those units.
Crazy! Yeah. It's so powerful.
Yeah, it just makes your, because obviously if you're an experienced player, one of the first questions you have to ask is what's your threat range, and when you're telling him I can move, disembark and charge, suddenly the opponent gets really nervous in how to deploy.
Of 25 inches if you take all those upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something it's just reminded me of things like the
28 inches if you take Evil Sons and the extra inch and all that.
Yeah, it's the same as Death Company, right? Yeah. Death Company have a strat where basically they make the turn 1 charge because they pre-move 12 inches before the game, and they move their other 12. We're talking about jump packs, and it really makes it tricky to deploy because you're going to be charged. So,
but that's just one unit. With truck boys, you can potentially get it on 3 squads of boys if you take a triple patrol, for example.
Because it's 1 for each detachment.
1 for each detachment. So if you take 3 trucks with 3 squads of 12 in each, you can be middle and the both flanks. So all charges all on turn 1.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's huge.
I prefer to take at least 1 truck war boss in there.
Yeah.
Because you've got a character in that will kill
big stuff.
It strength 12.
Yeah.
AP -3, damage 3.
Yeah. It's great.
Redoing any attack that doesn't reach the inflict damage step. It's huge.
It's good. It's good.
It's huge 6 attacks.
So it's boys are still good in general, like conclusion wise. Let's round it up. They are still good, but there's other better stuff which are faster and
I think you'll always have to have some boys.
Of course, because you need some objectives.
You need the troops, either boys or beast snagga. I haven't painted the beast snagga boys I've got yet, but once I do, I'll obviously try them out, and we'll see how they do.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on into a couple of other units. I think some of them are on the table. Something that we used to see a lot was smasher guns, right? We used to see a lot of smasher guns on the table. Like, I'm talking about the 90 boys, and then the rest of your army was smasher guns in the back. So, and now we're not seeing them again. No. So what was the change there?
They've just completely changed the loadout.
Have they gone more expensive as well?
They're the same points. Okay. 40 points each smasher gun. But I think just other guns are better.
Other guns are
Custom Mega Blaster, for example, I think is a better gun.
Okay.
But the smasher
we're not even seeing any of these guns.
I know. To be honest, I don't.
They were just too good before. Yeah. And now they're just not as
normal
good.
Guns.
And again, it's back to there's better things on the table, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that said, we're going to move on to the Beast Snagga riders?
Yeah, Beast Snagga boys.
Yeah, because this is something that I think we're going to see a lot. It's not super competitive. We'll go into that later on, but it is a new unit which is very good.
It's really good, and you can buff them up.
Yes,
so that they can be unstoppable when they charge you. I've got 3. I've got more, but I need to pay because now obviously general releases come out. I've bought more models.
Yeah.
But you can make them so strong.
Yeah.
If you take what I've just discovered really is to take the Knob and the Smasher Squig with some Warlord traits.
Yeah.
Beast Gob, it gives them an extra damage for their jaws.
Okay.
You call the Waaagh
damage 3 now, right?
Goes up to damage 3.
Which is like scary for Gravis armored marines.
For sure. And if you take the Word Boy, which is the weird boy for the Beast Snaggers, you can give them. Let me just double check what it was.
Yeah, sure.
But you can give them, basically, make them much stronger. So if you take the Word Boy, Spirit of Gork, it's a warp charge 6 power.
Okay.
You give them an extra attack with the jaws.
Okay.
And 6s are mortal wounds. So they go up to, if you have a squad of 6 of these, then
which is what you want to run.
Which is what I want to run. I've got 3 more that I'm
we've been running 3 because it's all we had, but you want many because there's going to be casualties. They aren't that tough either, so they die. So you always want at least a couple to reach.
Absolutely. They reach. And if you're going to run a Squig Hog Heavy Army, play Snakebites because when you charge them, you get the +1 to wound when you charge automatically with Snakebites. Okay. There is a stratagem for that. You just save the stratagem.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that if you're going to play a lot of them? Obviously, if you have other units that you.
Which we do want to play. We want to slowly start painting a lot.
For sure.
As many as we can. Because they just look really cool as well at the same time.
For sure. Play them as Snakebites. You get +1 to wound, and if you charge, +1 to wound when you charge, and if you're. Just for being a Beast Snagga, for fighting a vehicle or a monster, you get +1 to hit as well.
Okay.
So you're likely to be hitting on 2s with all the weapons. And wounding, I mean, they're strength 6. So unless you're going up against something strength 7, you're wounding on something with toughness 7.
4s and lower.
Yeah.
4s and lower.
So they're really good. And because you've got the sticker attacks and then the jaw attacks.
Okay.
And the sticker attacks, if you call the Waaagh, you can potentially get 4 attacks. You can get 5 if you get a weird boy in with Warhammer.
Okay.
So that's 30 attacks from a squad of 6 with the stickers, maybe 24 if you don't take the weird boy.
Plus the beasts.
And then you get the jaws as well. So you get the Beast Gob aura in there, you get the spell on the jaws, and then you're getting another 3 attacks each with the jaws.
At damage 3.
At damage 3, AP -1, strength 6.
They're good.
6 is doing mortal wounds.
The good thing is you're back into the game that they're fast.
Oh yeah.
They're small as well, so you can hide them behind ruins, behind obscuring, behind normal pieces of terrain, and they move as well. So, but you do need them in bigger squads. I think we'll slowly see
squads
cooler lists of like 3 squads of 6.
Yeah, for sure.
And
3 squads of 6 with maybe a knob, a Smasher Squig with each of them. Because the knobs are pretty good as well. You can
they're tough. They're tough.
Give them. I've been running him with Headwalker's Kill Chop.
Yeah, and they don't get a slots when you put a unit of these, so you can have 3 knobs on riding these, and they don't get basically any slot on your army list, so they're great. Okay, let's move over to Killer Khans now.
Okay.
Because it's a hit or miss with Killer Khans, right?
You really like them.
I like them in smaller squads. I don't like how you've been using them.
I think squads of 3. I think someone
because their leadership is very low. I've been telling you for a long time, but he doesn't listen to me.
No, because they get an extra attack when they're in combat.
Yes, it's not worth it.
No.
Because you're losing suddenly 1 or 2 die, your leadership is really low, and you're losing another 2 or 3. Units suddenly run away because of leadership. So you want them in units of 3.
And you really like the rockets, but
yes.
I don't know if maybe a big shooter Killer Khans could be decent. They're only 40 points.
Man, rockets, I know there's negatives. There's negatives because they're blast now, so in combat you can't fire them, but you're suddenly getting... The Killer Khans are cheaper now, but the rockets are more expensive. So you're more or less paying the same.
Exactly the same as you.
But you're paying the same, but you're suddenly getting D3 rockets instead. Yeah. So D3 rockets each, they are damage 3, which is something you don't see a lot in the game. There's a lot of Gravis, there's a lot of, things like Venoms, which are 6 wounds, suddenly 2 go through and it's a dead Venom. Things like that,
they're good.
So, and even normal Intercessors and normal Primaris or things, it's like there's a lot of Feel No Pains going around. So, when you give 2 wounds and suddenly there's a cheeky Feel No Pain number 6, suddenly it survives. Now it's 3 wounds, so you have to pass 2 6s.
They are great. And you can play them as Blood Axes, I think. And then if you're charged, you get in combat and you can disengage and shoot with Blood Axes.
That's how you want to use them then.
So yeah, but they are good in combat as well.
Yes.
And if you get them Nob with the Waaagh banner in with them, they are getting +1 to hit. So they're hitting on 3s in
which
combat.
you were doing last.
Which
last
I did in the recent game.
So a bit of hit and miss. Let us know what you think about the Killer Khans and the what's the other ones called? The bigger ones.
Oh, Death Dreads.
Death Dreads. Let us
Death
know.
Dreads are excellent.
Yeah.
I got the Kill Team box.
Okay.
I got a couple of them.
Okay.
Not the Kill Team box, the Combat Patrol box.
Combat Patrol.
So I've got a few more Death Dreads.
So probably we'll see that. But yeah, comment below. Let us know what you think, because it's a bit of a hit and miss between me and Jamie. He thinks they're not worth it. I think they're worth it.
I think they are, but I think because you can take 40 points per model with a big shooter.
Yeah.
40 points per model.
But the missiles are too good. The missiles are too good. They just get. It's scary when you know they can fire at you, and I know they're still hitting on 4s, but it's D3. So you want one of those good rolls. Suddenly there's 15 rockets firing at you. You know. And the best thing of all is that they have Ramshackle, right?
Ramshackle,
which we're going to go straight into. So Ramshackle is basically what normal Marine and Chaos Marine Dreadnoughts have. -1 damage. Amazing. They also have a 3-up save now.
They always had a 3-up save.
Did they?
Yeah, they always did.
Okay.
Yeah. 3, I think so. But the -1 damage is anything with strength 7 or less.
Yes.
So if you hit me with a strength 8 weapon, they won't be getting the -1.
Okay. But going to Ramshackle, all vehicles have it now.
Most vehicles.
And this is where it gets interesting, and this is where we are currently in the meta for Orks. We are seeing as many buggies as you can fit in a list. I think the first person that started this was Manny Chima from Glasshammer team.
Many of these buggies.
Yeah, as many buggies. So Rugged we got all the buggies in. Basically, your army was full. You basically, it was hard to deploy in certain deployments because it would basically fill the table. So when you have so many things, they are decent in combat. They're still hitting on 5s, but their guns are good. Plus, add Ramshackle, you need a lot of guns to put these lists down. Yeah, but it's not something you would have expected.
No.
So do you want to talk a bit about that?
Well, I painted this Ruckatrax Squig because I started this Snakebite scheme.
Yes.
I thought, that's a Snakebite unit, a Ruckatrax Squig buggy. And I painted it, it was so uncompetitive, whatever.
It was bad.
And now suddenly, it's so competitive that Pardo's like,
you need 3.
You need more, And I'm like, it's so much work.
I'm talking about you can have so many because a lot of these buggies can be units of 3.
Yeah.
And so you can have up to 9 of each buggy, right?
Yes, exactly.
This is why you're seeing so many buggies
inside.
Well,
I think the 2 most popular are these Ruckatrax Squig buggies and Mecha Scrap Jets.
Okay.
I messed that up, but anyway.
I haven't seen those in play yet, but I know I know they're using them.
Yeah,
and
there are lots of
some lists are having a couple of the flyers. But the really competitive list doesn't even have flyers. It's just basically a couple of Storm Boys getting Octarius data and getting onto objectives, while these just move up, flood the board, and basically stay there. And the problem is that they're good in combat as well. I was a bit shocked when you charged with one of these that they were good, but especially this one.
Because it doesn't need line of sight.
Exactly. It doesn't need line of sight. And
it's damage 2. It basically gets 3d6 shots.
And it's so good. Like, ignore line of sight in 40k at the moment with so many obscuring terrain on the table. They are very good. And damage 3 as well,
damage
right?
3, yeah.
So we're seeing a lot. So this is one of the winners from this Codex.
I think people have been criticized that the speed work, saying it's less powerful, but actually I don't think it is.
Yes,
because I think if you the ultra competitive list would be mostly all buggies.
Yeah,
but you can play a strong list,
a mix,
including bikes, Death Killer Wartrike, and buggies.
Yeah,
and that's a classic speed work.
Yes,
maybe some truck boys in there as well.
Yeah,
a fast list that's very strong. And maybe if you don't fancy painting 9 buggies.
Yes,
you could do something like that. I think,
which there's a lot of detail. I'm just looking into this. There's a lot of things on that buggy.
But speed wag guys, I think you have benefits because of the speed wag rule itself.
Yeah.
Because your bikes then on the speed wag would be getting 12 shots each.
Yeah.
For 9 of them.
So you're talking about bikes, like everybody. I'm hearing a lot of people saying they're really, really good.
They are, yeah.
12. Are they really, really good?
Well, look. 12 shots each on the wag if you're within Dakka range. If you're out of Dakka range, it's 8 shots each.
Okay.
But you could play something like Bad Moons to increase the Dakka range by 6.
Okay.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
And then they're the same as boys when you charge in with the -1 choppers, all the attacks that boys get.
And movement. Back to movement.
They're so fast.
You need movement in this edition. You can't just stay back and shoot.
But just think about it, Pardo. 108 shots from a squad of 9. It's loads.
Hitting on 5s, who cares, right?
And with the speed wag AP -1.
Yeah. When you call the Waaagh, right?
When you call the speed
once per game, right?
Once per, yes.
Once per game.
It actually lasts for 2 turns, the AP -1.
Yes, true, because the Waaagh lasts for 2 now, right?
The extra shot's just for the 1 turn.
Do you want to explain? We're going to the Waaagh now, because it's changed now.
But if you take, you said hitting on 5s, but if you take freebooters, if you kill a unit in your round, everything else gets +1 to their ballistic skill. So then, if you kill a unit somewhere, pick off something small, then they're getting 4 pluses. They're getting 4 pluses.
So, but too many shots. It's something that I personally, maybe some of you, if you want, comment below as well. I'm not the kind of person that likes to roll 140 rolls, then roll wounds, 60 wounds, and it's just, for me personally, it slows the game a lot down. I prefer them to have less shots and give them damage too, or something crazy like that. Maybe I'm going a bit overboard, but for it to speed up the game, instead of giving them, here's 10 shots each and all that. You've briefly gone into the Waaagh.
Okay, so the Waaagh.
So it has changed. Last Codex was
Codex, it was just the rule that the Warlord
advance and charge.
Yeah, the Warlords had that rule. Yeah.
Which could advance and charge.
So if you were in aura range of the Warlords, you could advance and charge. That was what one.
And you had to be in aura range.
Yeah,
which was, and now it's much better.
Now it's much better.
Yeah.
Now it's back to how it used to be in the old 4th edition Codex.
I remember.
It was. We used to shout it in the middle of a tournament and everyone would look at you.
So you call the Waaagh now.
So there are 2 Waaggs.
Yeah.
There's normal Waaagh and speed Waaagh.
Okay.
Ghazghkull does both when he calls it. And on the normal Waaagh, you can turn 1.
Yeah.
You can advance. And you get advance and charge, and you get an extra attack.
Okay.
Turn 2, you just get the extra attack.
Yeah.
So I've been using it a lot turn 1 with the truck boys, but if you're not seeing a truck, you probably use it turn 2.
Okay. Because when he's using it turn 1, because now it's even greater threat range, because now you're moving out of the buggy, you're also advancing and then charging.
And you get +1 attack.
And you get +1 attack at the same time.
So you've got 30 truck boys going with an extra attack, 4 attacks each.
It's good.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
And the speed Waaagh. The Death Killer War Track will give it to you. Warboss on a bike will give it to you. Ghazghkull gives it to you. You get basically 1 +1 attack with all your Dakka weapons. You can advance and fire assault weapons with no penalties. So, for example, this guy, all assault weapons, so you can advance and fire them with no penalty.
Okay.
And you get AP -1 on your Dakka weapons as well. The AP -1 lasts for 2 turns.
Okay.
So again, it really buffs the bikes, really buffs the buggies. Any vehicle really with a Dakka weapon on, even a battle wagon with like lots of big shooters.
Yeah,
that would be very significantly buffed as well.
Nice. Yeah, I'm liking the slight changes that when you're starting, when you read the Codex, you say like, oh, it's much better Codex, but the Codex has changed so much.
It is.
It's a complete revamped. For me, it's a complete revamped Codex. And the other thing is that it's new, really fresh still. So I think that we're not going to see other lists till the next couple of weeks in events. Talking about events, we have the London GT next weekend. No, this coming weekend. And I think there was like 40 something Ork players, which is a lot. And you can see that there is something good at it. I think most of the lists will all be the same, but it's good to see them there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think Drukhari were top after Marines, and then I think it was basically Orks or near.
That's good.
But there's something that we will see there's a list that is good at the moment, and it's good to see. What we don't like to see is that all the lists are the same. We like codexes where you can revamp lists and change lists.
I do think, top tier lists, obviously we're going to see a lot of buggies, but I do think you can play strong lists in a variety of ways with your codex.
Yeah.
You just got to be a bit clever about it, build your lists cleverly. And you can do it. Yeah. Because they are a strong.
Yeah, and get used to it, right? Because now it's not about just moving up forward, knowing you're not going to die to leadership. Now you need to be a bit more tactical with Orks now. Yeah, cool. So I think you mentioned briefly Ghazghkull. I think we should talk about Ghaz a bit because we'll finish off with Ghaz. I think it's again a bit of a hit and miss.
I think.
Yeah, let's move forward, right?
His battlefield role hasn't changed very much.
Okay.
Except for the last book. He does pretty much the same thing he always does.
Okay.
Stick him with some boys, they get the rerolls.
Yeah.
And then he just survives and hits very hard.
Has anything changed?
I think maybe the damage on his weapon, maybe.
Okay. He has more shots on his big shooter,
because he's got Dakka.
Okay.
So he goes up to 18 shot.
Okay, which is a lot.
Which is a lot, yeah. They're still hitting on 5s. It's got AP minus 1, I suppose. But yeah, he's just good. He used to be good. He's still good.
Is he competitive?
I don't know. He's 300 points.
Yeah. The problem is that we have a bit mixed views because we've had some Barry reports, which I know which one it is. 1,000 Suns, the new special we did with the new Codex just 2 weeks ago, and he was a beast that one, right?
Yeah.
But then we don't play ultra competitive. We like to have a punch on our list, but it's not amazing. So, is he good at the points?
Well, look, play him as a Goff. if you're going to take him. If you want him to become the best possible Ghaz you can take is Ghaz as a Goff.
Yeah. Can you have Ghaz as something else?
You can't take him in any clan.
Oh, okay.
And if you take him as a Goff, he gets the Goff traits.
Okay,
if you take him in another clan, he doesn't.
Okay.
But anyway,
can you take Ghaz as a Snakebite?
Yeah, of course.
And he has transhuman?
No. That's the thing. You take him with another clan, he doesn't get the clan traits.
Ah, okay.
He only gets the trait if you take him as a Goff. So the best Ghaz you can take is a Goff Ghaz.
Fair enough.
And then take a weird boy with him with Fists of Gork.
Okay.
And you can buff him. He gets +2 attacks, +2 strength.
Okay.
And then he becomes pretty good.
Yeah.
Because even at his highest bracket, where he has 5 attacks, you get +1 for the proper ghillie, +2 for the power, and if you roll above a 10, an extra 1.
Yeah.
So that's 8 or 9 attacks.
Okay.
You know, re-rolling, hitting on 2s, re-rolling. Strength like 15 or something, and damage flat 4 with AP, or 5 actually, damage flat 5. No, sorry, damage 4 and AP -5,
nice.
which is really good. And if you use, I've been using the Unbridled Carnage strategy for exploding 5s on him as well.
Okay.
And I've been sometimes going in with Ghazghkull, you know, with 8 or 9 attacks, but actually generating something like 12 or 13 hits with him. You know?
Yeah, which is good.
Which is huge. I mean. He's an absolute beast.
The good thing I see about him is like with him only being able to lose 4 wounds, it makes it really hard for the opponent because he really needs to actually now start thinking about what's happening. How many more can I do mortal wounds on him? Can I kill him in combat? And that's what I think he's there for. He's a big distraction effects. Yeah.
But he's 300 points.
But it's 300 points. That's the downside.
You can take so many more things with it. I mean, a beast Snagga squad of 3 is 65 points.
Yes, exactly.
Or 75 points.
It's still so cheap. It's so cheap, yeah.
So you can fit.
Yeah.
You can fit, well, how many? 75 points worth? You can fit so many in for one Ghaz.
It has.
Or so many buggies. I mean, the buggies are like 70.
I know, the buggies are so cheap. Like, this is why we're seeing so many in the lists. Anyway, I think we've gone through most of what we've been experiencing at the moment. Obviously, Jamie playing them, me fighting against them, and briefly touched on the units that we're seeing a lot and we are mainly using. Obviously, you guys at home probably been playing a lot of Ork battles as well, against and with. So let us know, comment below, let us know what you're using, if there's any tricks that you're seeing, any, I don't know, combos, nice combos that you're using. It's always good for us to have a look and probably try them in a battle report if we like what we're saying. Anyway, Jamie, thank you for being with us for today. Last question.
Okay.
If you had to mark the Codex out of 10.
Ooh, that's difficult.
What would you give it?
Oh, that you've asked me the most difficult question.
I don't mind.
Possible.
We're going to finish it off with that.
Okay.
So I think, marking the Codex, I think if Drukhari is a 9 out of 10, I'm ranking this at a low 7 out of 10.
Okay, that I would agree with that. For competitiveness.
For competitiveness. And in general, it's a good Codex in general.
Yeah.
But the point is, or the problem is mainly that there's some things that are far too good compared to others.
Yeah.
And
there are some units you'll never see.
My only problem that I think we will see is that we're basically going to see the same lists constantly and events. So hope that doesn't happen. We've seen an FAQ, haven't changed a lot, but I have faith that with the new Codex coming out last week, we're going to see a lot more diverse lists coming on. Anyway.
No, but you're right. For competitiveness, 7.5.
Yeah.
No, sorry, low 7. Yeah.
Low 7. Level 7.
Low 7 out of 10. But I think that in terms of the fluffiness and the lore and the history
and
the options you can make,
it's a really good. It's a very diverse Codex to have.
It is a little bit smaller in some areas. Like we've lost the Gretchin mobs, as I've said, and a few other things like that.
But we do have new units, which we haven't gone into because we basically haven't used it.
Yeah.
We are going to get some new. We already have some of the new units. It's just a matter of Jamie painting them and having some hobby time for
the pressure.
He's also started a new job, so the pressure is on. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you back in the next talk coming very soon.